Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Wine and Paint podcast. We're here today with my good friend Rose, and we're talking
Yo.
about meditation. So he's gonna introduce himself real quick, and then we're gonna get started.
Hey, Roosevelt Samuel, the junior. Uh, I'm here. I've known Tamika since like high school. Whenever I first moved to my new neighborhood in Skyview back in the day. So I'm glad to be here and help you out with your cool podcast stuff.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. As he said, we've been friends for quite a long time because, um, despite what we may look like, we are 30 plus. So yeah, it's wild that we've been friends this long, but I'm so glad we are. So glad we are. A lot of crazy things have happened since then, but we're
Oh
still
yeah.
friends. So I'm glad. Definitely. I ran across a picture of us at prom,
Yep.
me and your mom and your sister, and I was like, this is crazy. It's
Yep.
so cool.
You suited up that day, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was looking fresh.
Right. And our blue and black. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Looks so nice. But yes. Okay, so we're gonna talk about meditation today. Do you have anything special to drink? I just got some tea.
I got I've been messing around with this ribosome tea
Okay.
from a farmer market that I go to up the street. They be making this tea, and it's like naturally sweetened with like honey
Hmm.
and that crystal sugar stuff. You know what I'm saying? The rock sugar.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you don't even have to add nothing else to it. It's already sweet as soon as you mix it. So
Okay.
I've been liking that. And now we got a new one with blueberry in it. So I've been trying that out.
Yeah, that's
Then
nice.
I got my water.
Yeah,
Everybody stay hydrated.
definitely. Because it's hot. It's hot, especially if you're in the DMV. You don't know if it's gonna rain one day or be a.
uh, did you get that big storm on Friday?
Yes, it was crazy.
It was nothing but a second over here, you know what I'm saying? They were hyping it up in the morning, like, oh, the rain and on your way back home. I was like, but for Maryland, that's not me though.
Yeah, it was wild over here. Like I think one day last week we had like a hurricane warning or a tornado warning. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, they were talking about the tornado warnings. I was like, I'm not gonna see no touchdown over here.
It was pouring down. Bless you.
Uh,
Yeah. It was crazy. So yes, definitely stay hydrated. But okay, we're gonna talk about meditation. And this is really good because usually, well, I feel like a lot of people think that men don't meditate, but I honestly think that, well, the men I know, they do it a lot more than the women I know.
yeah,
So yeah,
I never really thought of it that way.
yeah.
I
But
never thought about breaking it down to which gender meditates more or less or something.
I feel like we need it more, to be honest.
Uh,
But I guess it could be equal. We'll see though. So when did you start meditating?
I started meditating, like actually practicing when I first moved out of my apartment. Well, when I first moved into my first apartment, like
Hmm.
between my first and second apartment, really, because I remember I would do it in the showers at first.
Okay.
You know, get that waterfall feeling. You know what I'm saying? That big old the
Hmm.
the classic monk thing under the waterfall meditating
Yeah.
type joint in the shower.
Huh.
When I first started, and then
Hmm.
you look at my little notes here. That was like 2013 ish
Okay.
when I was trying to focus more on my classes. Had a lot more me time, so
Right.
trying to do more than just be gaming around with my time.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, oh yeah, yeah. And the thing that made me want to try it is, man, you remember you telling me I told you about that book, Spiritual Being Having a Human Experience?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so that book was a big influence on it. It really said a lot of things about meditation and
Hmm.
all that spiritual stuff. It's really enlightening. And then I've seen it a few times, like Star Wars with the Jedi's.
Right.
Uh, there was this book series called The Inheritance with this dude Aragon. You know what I'm saying? He goes he's like this dragon rider in a time where dragon riders are kind of disappearing. And then he has to go meet up with this old dragon rider master, and he teaches him how to meditate. He's sitting there with his eyes closed, feeling his body, and then he slowly starts to feel the world around him type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that really got me interested in it. When I had that time living by myself, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then also another thing that reinforced my, I don't know, belief in meditation
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to do it is the Positive Head podcast. I started listening to that,
Oh yeah.
not long after I got with Desi, and I think that was really helpful. You know what I'm saying? They talked a lot more about the spiritual aspects and the benefits of meditation. So that really put me on.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely remember you sharing that podcast with me, and I would listen to it a lot when I was down at ODU. And that's really when I started getting on my like meditation game as well. Like when I just started being by myself, like I was in the dorm rooms, like I would need to get away from my roommate or whatever. I go to the gym and just even as I'm walking or taking a bike ride, I just pull off like to some water because ODU is near a bunch of water. So I just go and just stand or sit for a minute and just clear my head, and it was great.
Like besides some water, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. That's one of your questions was like, favorite places to meditate or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, definitely by the water.
Yeah.
Is a place I like to do it. I like hearing that. I think sounds help, you know what I'm saying? And not like loud, rambunctious music, but like those soothed, calming sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the birds tweeting and you hear the wind rushing through the leaves.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps you find that serenity to meditate in.
Definitely. I totally agree. Like one of my favorite places, I always need to be by some water or like you said, just hear something soothing. Like that's how I go to bed. Like if I want to get some deep sleep, like really, really get in there, like I will just pull up maybe some white noise or like just rainfall or something soothing, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've tried the rainfall.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening to rainfall music. You got the birds chirping.
Yeah, definitely good vibes for sure. So, how would you define meditation? What do you think, or if you had to describe it, what would it be?
I would define meditation as, like centering and grounding your spiritual self or like your mind to your body. I'm saying it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mental break, but not like a full break because you're working instead of like working your mind and mental on the external stuff, the world are going on around you, all the work and the chores and the bills and all that. You're coming back to your body, you know what I'm saying, and working in on that, you know what I'm saying, getting a feel for yourself after you've been feeling this outside world all day.
Right.
Weeks and hours on end.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree. I feel like it's a time to just align everything, like you said, mind, body, and soul, because a lot of times I didn't even realize before I was just living like, okay, that's my body, this is my mind, like it all had to be different categories, but why can't it just be one? Like I've been talking about this a lot on my podcast. Like I just came to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm artwork too, and I can flow like this paint and blend together, and all of even if I think I'm so complicated and a mess or whatever, just take time to center all that and you definitely feel much better. So I like to meditate in the morning and after I get home from work, or just different transitions, really, like anytime I'm going into something else, like that really helps me with my anxiety. Is there a specific time that you like to meditate?
Man, I would like to meditate in the mornings, but it's not really the time I get to there's times like if I was waiting in line, I would meditate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would say like in traffic, but that's kind of dangerous because you're behind the wheel. It's not the same type of meditation.
Right.
But you can still, I guess you could still work on your breathing with your eyes open.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like definitely if I was standing in line, saying whenever you're standing in a line at like a fast food restaurant, at the DMV, something like that is definitely a quick second. I'd like to take a meditation.
Right.
I like when I go fishing.
Oh, okay.
And I got a long hike to get out to my area, or I'm scouting a spot to go fishing, potential fishing area.
Right.
And I come across a stream or a little creek that's running. I like to sit down there and do a little meditation. Like the last spot I was scouting, I haven't been down that trail before, but I saw this little stream and it had a bridge going right over it too. And so I sat down, I listened to that water running, and I did a quick little meditation thing. But I got to be careful standing up too quickly. You know what I'm saying? You let that breath up to your head. You got to give yourself a moment to come back.
Definitely.
Going so deep inside yourself type stuff.
Yeah, that has happened to me quite a few times. Like, yeah, you can't just jerk back. Like, you really have to. It's like exercise. Honestly, you gotta cool down.
Yeah.
You gotta get back to this plane. Like, it's really no joke.
Oh, before doing yoga, I like to meditate because that's one of those things like you cool your body, you meditate to cool your whole mind and body down so you could go through these slow yoga poses thing. And then because a couple times I've done yoga classes and my teachers always usually open up with like a quick 1 minute, 30-second meditation, little breathing session. Then you can start doing your meditation and then, your yoga. And then after the yoga, you do another little cool down like that, just breathing, feeling, all the muscles you worked out through that yoga session. And then, that kind of just helps to transfer back into the real world, I would say, after having that little state.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Like, I definitely like doing yoga. I've been slacking on it though. Like, I've been allowing more of my surroundings or my feelings get in the way of my practice. So I really do want to get back into it. But you're right, like it feels great when you just do a little yoga, do a little meditation, even if you can't do 20 minutes or whatever, just start with 5. Like, because I know it can be intimidating. Like, has it ever been scary for you to just sit down and try, or is there a time where
Definitely a challenge, you know what I'm saying? Like starting off breaks with like 30 minutes, that's a big step, so
Right.
I started, just doing a few seconds at a time. You know what I'm saying? You could do it 10 seconds and you might not get the whole feel, but think about doing 10 seconds multiple times throughout the day and week, you know what I'm saying? Then it all starts to add up.
Right.
And, once you get over 10 seconds, this doesn't feel as long. So, then you can push yourself to 30 seconds and to the whole minute thing. I used to do, what was the Headspace app? You know what I'm saying? It would start you off with, 3 minutes?
Yeah. Yep.
You could go up to like 10, 5 and 10. And saying it had a little level thing going on. So, especially if you're brand new and you think you're having a difficult time with it, you could download some apps or always find some guidance. I think that's something that I was working with when I first started. I didn't know how to meditate, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what are the guidelines for meditation?
Right.
So we reached out to a few people, like, what was that, back in 2013, right, when Tumblr was still popping. I spoke to a couple of people I followed, and they followed back on Tumblr, you know what I'm saying, trying to get their idea of how they meditate.
Right.
The breathing, you know what I'm saying, the breathing practices and the breathing techniques is something I try to look up on YouTube or Google. And, there's kind of information everywhere out there, and you just got to find your own deal. I did a meditation session. I go places and, they'll have a meditative teacher there or something, you know what I'm saying? You just do an open class for free right quick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I did that at this, there was like this Maryland event for Black people, Black male health or whatever. And my dad was there. He invited me there, and Bessie was there with us. And
Mm-hmm.
we sat down, and this lady, was teaching a group of us of how to meditate. I thought it
Wow.
was really cool because, my dad probably never done anything like that so much. So he
Yeah.
was doing it for the first time, and she was talking about, breathing, sitting with your back straight and breathing
Mm-hmm.
low and pushing it up or something like that, something like from under the diaphragm or some such.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even realize that I was breathing wrong for quite a long time. Like just walking around, just holding my breath out of like just because I'm just in my head, just holding my breath. Like, but that's really important that you gotta just keep it flowing. Like you just stop breathing. I wonder how many people do that. You should comment below if you do. Like that's it's wild. It's not good for you. Like you could definitely just be causing all types of headaches and just things
um,
that aren't necessary. But that's a really cool event. Like if you guys go to another one, I'd like to go. It's really awesome.
yeah, I've seen a few random things like that. Like when I was at Nova campus, there
Hmm.
was like a little yoga meditation thing, and
Yeah.
those things will pop up randomly, especially you go out to public events type stuff. Things go on.
Yeah. That's so
Mm-hmm.
cool. So do you think that meditation is more effective alone or with a group of people?
Oh man, I guess it depends on the intention, really, right? What are you trying to
Mm,
do when you meditate with a group of people?
right.
Because another thing off that Positive Head podcast,
Hmm.
man, he was interviewing somebody who like got a group together in their town and did a meditation thing.
Hmm.
They had 10 or plus people sitting in a group meditating, and then I think they started organizing like an actual meditation event with people across the country, maybe even other people around the world, and they were talking about this kind of connection they were feeling from all that.
Mm.
So I think there's benefits in meditating together, what I'm saying? And it does a thing, like a
Yeah.
group consciousness connection type thing.
Hmm.
But geez, I guess it really just depends. What I'm saying? You can meditate on yourself by
Yeah.
yourself, have an experience, but then you could also do it in a group, and that's a whole nother situation. It could be stronger or weaker. I'm not too sure.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I agree because it's all about intentions. But I feel like if you don't really know, I don't know, maybe if you don't know the people too well, but that's kind of hard to gauge. I don't know. If you're not feeling the vibe, just don't meditate with them. Like that's what I would say. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
don't sit around bad energy.
Yeah, because you are kind of linking your energies like that, right? I'm saying you might be
Hmm.
expanding your own consciousness out further to reach out to other people when you meditate in a group like that. I'm saying you kind of get like a rubbing of your auras together.
Yeah.
I think it helps when everybody has the same focus, when everybody's focusing on the same type of, I'm here to mentally clear my mind, what I'm saying? Or if there's a
Hmm.
goal to focus on one thing and everybody's doing that, then it's kind of like manifestation, what I'm saying? Everybody's thinking on it together, what I'm saying? They're putting power to an idea and a feeling
Right.
kind of to manifest it. So
Yeah.
I think there's definitely benefits of doing that.
Yeah. Do you think, okay, let me ask you this. Do you use meditation to, or do you think that's can you be used as a tool to create your own reality, manifest things, or do you think it's just to help you relax?
Um, I think it could help manifest things. Because first you're relaxing, and then you're finding clarity on what you want to do with yourself or how you feel for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So what I'm saying? You
Okay.
kind of to clear away all those extra thoughts because, like, that's the main practice of meditation is you want to stop thinking. You know what I'm saying? You just want to focus on your breathing, try to feel your
Hmm.
body,
Yeah.
and then you could focus on an intention.
Right.
Maybe thinking about that. But for the most part, I try to clear my mind and just feel my body, feel my surroundings first off. I think getting to manifestation and intentions, that'd be the next tier of meditation type things. And I haven't seen much on the technique of doing that.
Mhm.
I was just looking through the Positive Head podcast earlier and saw something about meditation that I haven't seen yet. So I got to go back and watch that one.
Okay. Yeah, definitely share that. And what you said, that's so interesting because it just makes me think of a time where I was doing it wrong. Like I was just trying to go after like the things or the manifestations without just my body and my mind, like thinking about what this is doing for me in the present moment, just being present, period, like just chasing after this thing and the next thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. I made that happen. Like, let me do this. Like, and you can really just get carried away with that. And I mean, I feel like it could become a bad thing. Do you ever feel like too much meditation or meditation in the wrong way can be bad?
Everything in moderation is my words. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You could be meditating so much that you lose focus of those around you, and just is there
Yeah.
such thing as being too internally focused? I guess
Mm-hmm.
you get into that hermit mode, and
Yeah.
you'll find yourself under a tree meditating by yourself, and 100 years passed.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
everything in moderation. You want to meditate too much. You don't want to meditate. You don't want to meditate not enough. Or just like you don't want to be too much into your own work or too much
Right.
into indulgences or something.
Yeah. It's has it ever been hard for you to find that balance? Have you ever got too sucked into your own world?
Yeah, I mean, with meditation, I'd like to meditate more. You know what I'm saying? I find it too easy to fall off of meditation and forget to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd really like to get into the practice of doing it consistently. That way you see the benefits instead of you do it and then you fall off and you lose that benefit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're taking vitamins, you can't just take two vitamins.
Yeah.
2 vitamins in like 3 days and not have another vitamin for 4 months. You're not going to feel those vitamins.
Right.
I've been taking these vitamins for 8 years, but I never feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, are you taking them enough? You know what I'm saying? And then you don't want to take too many vitamins because there's a balance inside of your body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You'll be having too many of these chemicals or vitamins, whatever elements in your body. You got to find your balance.
Right. I totally agree. And I'm trying to get away from that. I think I'm doing better, but I'm definitely one of those people who are like, okay, I did it yesterday. Why isn't it working right now? Like, wasn't that enough? It's been 24 hours. Activate right now. Like, no, you gotta keep going. Like,
it's definitely consistently popping off with your practice, and then practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Gotta just keep going. I feel like I seen a meme the other day that was like, isn't it interesting how we'll give like a crappy ass show, like we'll watch it for like 10 seasons just to figure out what's gonna happen, but we won't stick with something long enough in our own lives to see if it's gonna work out.
Oh yeah. I mean, just last night I was binging a show, The Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good show.
Sitting there just watching the whole thing, forgetting how to breathe. You know what I'm saying? I'm just breathing on. But I could do that same thing with meditation. I even like I'm trying to do my Anime Mondays. I'm trying to bring Anime Monday back. Watch anime every Monday.
Nice.
Block of time. But where's my meditation time?
Right.
Meditation blocks of time.
Yeah.
Just keep on missing that notification on my phone. You need to put some Post-it notes up or something.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I was thinking that the other day, I was like, man, okay, wait, let me ask you this first. Do you think that doing art or being out in nature or doing anything that you love is a form of meditation as well?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Because, you know, like doing art is a way of creating and expressing oneself, you know what I'm saying? But I think meditation is its own kind of thing that you got to sit down and do for yourself. It has, you know, it has its own techniques with the breathing. You know, it's got, you got to have that clearing your mind technique, you know. So I think you can meditate before doing a piece of art. You know what I'm saying? You can meditate before doing a presentation or a speech.
Right.
That will help you, you know, find clarity for what you're going to make, what you're going to draw, what you're going to speak on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the difference is right there. Because once you start creating, you done created. And I'm not sure if meditation is the same thing.
I mean, like something you do to prepare for art.
Yeah, like a precursor, you know what I'm saying? Like before you do anything, you know, before you do anything, you know what I'm saying? If you want to mentally, spiritually prepare yourself, you know what I'm saying? You do a little meditation.
Right.
That's what makes it different from making art, you know what I'm saying? You know, from creating something and that being a meditative process. I think that's creating is creating, you know what I'm saying? And when you meditate, you're meditating, you're grounding yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're finding that connection with your body and your mind.
Okay. So would you say you have to, I guess, stay still to meditate, to be in a meditative state?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially like from the beginner's perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe a master, an expert in meditation could do that standing and walking, you know, but
yeah,
I haven't found that type of patience, that type of skill in meditation yet, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely easier for me to get distracted. Like if I hear the slightest thing, I'm like, oh, what was that? And I'm like, dang, let me try to get back to that rhythm. But I know we mentioned a little bit before, it may be too much sometimes, so you have to balance it. But have you ever found yourself like ruminating on bad things instead of actually helping? Like, have you felt worse after meditating?
No, because when I meditate, it's always been about, you know, after you've gotten your breathing, once you felt your breathing, and once you do your, you know, your little body scan, you feel yourself head to toe.
Right.
It's really about keeping those thoughts out of your head. Like I've had moments where thoughts keep on trying to run back in my head. There's something you just gotta drop. Like you can pick up your thought and then you gotta drop it real subtly in your mind and just continue breathing. Because once I start meditating and a thought pops in my head, you know, then you start to notice that you're not thinking about your breath anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's I guess that's right. You really want to focus on that connection to your body instead of that connection to your mind. You want to put your mind to your body, not your mind on your mind, where that hamster is just running on the wheel, pumping out thoughts all the time. You gotta be breathing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hear the pump of your heart. You know what I'm saying? You gotta feel the blood, the flow of the blood, or at least imagine it going through your veins instead of thinking about those thoughts, those bad things that could be up in your head, clouding you up. You know, and I think that's how you get a productive meditation. You know what I'm saying? That's why I haven't had a really negative experience while meditating.
Okay. So, yeah, I've thought about it in that way, like just focus on what's here, like what I can hear, like inside of me, like, because you can definitely, if you just focus on your breathing, like you can hear that, you can drown out your own thoughts with that. I've done it plenty of times, so it's not hard.
Well, I wouldn't say it's not hard.
Well, yeah, it's not. Okay, you're right. It is hard. It is difficult, but it's worth it. It's worth to keep
it's
practicing.
Definitely attainable. Something you could do. I'm saying, don't be sitting here like, oh, thoughts always are sneaking into my head. I can't do this. And there was a moment where I was like, this meditation stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just,
Right.
but it's really about finding, I don't want to say finding your own technique, but a technique that really works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a bunch of different ways, like there's different books and materials to read about how doing it. Kind of comes down to the same thing, but I know you got to find your style.
Right. Yeah. Just like anything else, you're not gonna do it like everyone else. So that's whatever makes you comfortable, really.
Yeah, we are all our own unique things.
That is very
Everything we
true.
got to do is going to vary piece by piece.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess you would say there's not really any rules to it then.
Yeah, I don't know. There's techniques for sure. You know what I'm saying? The more you do it, the
Hmm.
more you find a practice that works for you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
are techniques rules, or is it just the style of doing something? You know?
Okay. So what I know you said a few of the benefits, but what would you say maybe the top three benefits of meditating daily or even a few times a week would be?
Hmm. I say the number one benefit is like that kind of waking up feeling that I get. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
I've woken up all over again after a meditation session, especially like after a good 5 minute one. When you
Mm-hmm.
get deeper into those like 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
it feels like you were swimming. Don't you say, what was that movie? Get Out? You go into the, what do they call that? The inside place or something?
Right. I know what you yeah.
And so it's like swimming back up from that, and I'm not sure if y'all know, but when you come up from scuba diving, you don't want to come up too fast, right? You think, or else you'll get that, what was that, oxygen poisoning with the bubbles forming in your blood?
Oh, okay. I've never been scuba diving, but
Yeah.
wow.
So you want to come up slowly when you scuba dive so that you don't throw out your balance of, what is it, oxygen or something in your body. And I think it's the same thing for meditation.
Hmm.
So like if there was a bad experience meditating, I guess being shocked out of your meditative state could be a bad thing. I think it
Hmm.
shook you up out of that immediately. That would be a bit of a pain.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, I guess that makes a lot of sense because I mean we are just water, just a bunch of water, just
Mm-hmm.
flowing through stuff. And yeah, and it's really interesting what you pick up and let stay with you or whatever. So you're
Yeah,
right. You gotta.
balance. Even these emotions are some type of chemicals bubbling inside our brains. So
Oh, definitely. I was listening to something the other day that was saying like the CIA has a bunch of documents online. You can access them or whatever. I'm not going to look it up. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. But they were saying how every one of us has like an an electric magnetic field around us that controls our emotions and stuff. And I'm like, I definitely believe that.
yeah,
I know that for sure. So we're
I'll
just not.
get down with that because that's like our aurora. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That energy, our spirit, gathered around the body itself.
Yeah. Definitely. I know that's real. And it's just a shame that some people are like, oh no, I don't want to talk about things like that. But if we did talk about it more, like maybe you could figure out how to control your electric magnetic field, be a lot happier and
Yeah.
elevate your vibration. So you shouldn't be afraid of things like that. I feel like maybe it's just because like big words or something. Some people are like, "Oh no, that's too much. That can't be real."
Yeah, it all goes back to me to that spiritual being having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
We're inside of these bodies. You know what I'm saying, and we don't even know their full potential. And I think meditating and finding oneself helps you unlock, all the power of your body type shit. Yeah, like about chakras, right, you guys?
Mm-hmm.
You got your chakras, and you got to open up your gates in order to unlock all the amazing things the human body could do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're pretty much, I don't want to say we're the pinnacle of evolution, but evolution is taking us so far, and all these things have added up to
Mhm.
something, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Time. So, oh yeah, and you were saying people don't want to talk about it, and people don't talk about it these days, especially like I could imagine 10,000 years ago, people were way more in tune with what their bodies were doing. You know, saying like
Right.
these animals out here and their instincts, they're not questioning what they do. You know what I'm saying? They're living in the moment right there, doing and living out their full potentials.
Right.
And just
Yeah.
today, we've got so much distraction and so much
Hmm.
stigma and bias
Yep.
and other beliefs clouding,
Yep.
what we could actually be doing with ourselves, that it makes it hard
Exactly.
to make that connection.
Right. I definitely, that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I really think it's just harder for us, or we make it harder now with all this stuff we got. We let other things do things for us. Like, it's just so weird. Like, we just, like you said, we're just so distracted and we're not in tune with, we don't even know what we like most of the
You know,
time.
no, considering from like 10,000, 2,000 years ago when I didn't have all these distractions, you know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
shoot, 24 hours in the day was a lot of free time, and
Yeah.
it might have been a normal practice for people to meditate back then.
Yeah.
Especially like when you think about the Tibetan monks or something, and they're not spending time on social media, bullshitting around. They're actually surviving out there. They
Hmm.
do things that feed themselves when they need to feed themselves, and in their downtime, they connect with themselves spiritually.
Hmm. Yeah, man. So, well, thank you again for doing this. I got two more questions for you, and we're gonna name each other's pieces. Did you make any art with us today?
I threw a couple things.
Okay,
I got
cool.
I got my old sketchbook here, and the last pages were of some outfits I'd like to sew up and create for myself.
Oh,
So
nice.
kind of I drew some more of those and a little picture over here. So I'll show that off.
Okay, cool. All right. So, how? Let's see. I think we answered all the questions. Really, is there? Okay, let me ask you this: what is the toughest time that meditation got you through?
Oh yeah, that was a hard question. I was thinking about it was a tough time because when I've been going through my toughest times, I didn't really meditate. I found
Mhm.
meditation quite a while after all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, difficult times, like from the smallest scale of difficult, I guess sleeping when I find it hard to go to sleep,
Hmm.
lay back on my back and breathe in, do my breathing, and there's many times just trying to practice meditation that you kind of just fall asleep anyway, because
Yeah.
you're thinking everything out and then you just forget and fall asleep.
Right.
Like, oh, oops. But actually trying to go to sleep and you just do that breathing, calms the mind down, saying, gets the body, and calm your mind and process that in turn allows you to calm your body. And then I'm able to go to sleep. There's been some times I was really drunk and sitting on the toilet, like I need to breathe and focus right now and find my center again, like that. And yeah, I mean, geez, I just can't. I haven't had any real emotional times that I knew about in meditation to meditate on.
Hmm.
But just when things get confusing, I play like a tactical game, real time strategy game. And
Hmm.
sometimes when I'm losing and I see my army crumbling in front of me, I just tell myself to stop, breathe. You know what I'm saying? I got to take 5 seconds to do a little breathing meditation so
Right.
I can find a way to work out a victory in here, or at least give my enemy a punishing blow to show him
Okay.
that I'm still here and I'm still trying to defeat you instead of completely giving up and rage quitting or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely use it to help me go to sleep. Most of the time I have to turn on, like I said, some type of music or something, because if not, I'll just start thinking a million thoughts. I don't know what it is about when you lay down and go to sleep. I don't know if that happens to you. Or like, oh, what? Actually, you know what? Maybe you're like Rob and all the other men I know. You guys can just hit the pillow and go to sleep. Like, and just I'm like, how did that happen? Like, we could be talking and he'll just fall asleep. But me, I'm up for hours, tossing and turning. Like, it's not as bad now, but before I used to just lay there. And so, can you just go to sleep? You just fall asleep?
Yeah, there's times where I could just go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? When exhaustion will take me. You know, my lady will say that too. She's like, I can't just go to sleep in bed. And I'm like, it comes. You know, sleep will come unless I'm super restless. You know what I'm saying? Unless I just ate and I can't lay down because my food hasn't digested.
Right.
But then even that's a good time to meditate, right? You know what I'm saying? You ate a little late, you know what I'm saying? You need to let your food settle. So maybe instead of watching another episode of whatever on television, take that 30 minutes to breathe and meditate, you know what I'm saying? Then your body can really process for itself, you know.
Yeah.
Process that food, process your day, process all those thoughts up out of your head so you be clear enough to find some sleep.
Right. And you're right. Like, even if you're not, I would just suggest, even if you're not going to try it every day, at least maybe once or twice a week, because you're just carrying stuff around and you don't realize it. Like, I was doing, I think at the end of last month, I was doing some yoga and I just started crying. Like, I thought nothing was wrong, just started crying. Just because I felt great. I felt amazing, like just a release. It was great. And
Yeah.
I just meditated for like 10 minutes. It was awesome. Just carrying so much stuff around. So just try to do it for a mental break. So with that being said, like if someone was really afraid to even give this a try or they thought they couldn't do this, like what would be your maybe top two suggestions for them to fall into this or ease into this?
Just sitting and breathing, you know, go out on a picnic, you know what I'm saying? Get out in some nature, go on a hike, and then find a log or bring a blanket to sit down on. You know, a lot of people, you know, they get outdoors and they'll be worried about the bugs crawling on them or fly past their ear will really freak them out, you know? So
yeah,
outdoors is really tough for you. Find a place indoors, you know what I'm saying? Play that little outdoor soundtrack off Spotify or something. And, I think just breathing, or even like I started in the shower, you know, under the water with the shower, the water running over you. Just breathing, try to see how you feel for yourself, you know what I'm saying? See if you remember that, you know, you're a spiritual being, you're having this human experience, so experience it, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Be a human, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Take the chance to experience every aspect of the human that you are.
Yes, I love that. That's a really good quote to live by. I like that. And it's definitely going to be highlighted because I was just thinking that the other day. I was riding bikes. We've been riding bikes more, I was telling you about. And there's this huge hill. And I was like, why don't I just go? Like, just ride. Like, it was so awesome. Like, to just, like, it was great. I haven't done that forever. Can't be afraid to do stuff. Gotta live, like you said.
Yeah. You gotta live your experiences. You know what I'm saying? Don't close yourself off from an experience just because you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know it, so experience it, see how you like it. You know, say if you really find out you don't like that experience, well, you don't like that experience. Okay. We were just laughing at this lady on the show because she got invited to a party and they were eating nothing but vegan food at the party. And she's like, I don't like vegan food. And it's like, well, vegan food is food, right? You know what I'm saying? And you eat other food if it has meat in it. You know what I'm saying? You're not cheating yourself from the experience of eating meat. So why cheat yourself from the experience of eating vegetables? You know what I'm saying? Other foods that are good for your health.
Right. Vegan food. Like you said, it's vegetables. Like you've never eaten.
I don't like carrots. You know, people are allergic to carrots. Some folks can't eat peanut butter.
Right.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, you can't have peanut butter. But don't be sitting here like, I don't eat vegan. I don't eat seafood at all. Like, unless you're allergic to seafood, then I'm like, okay, then you don't eat seafood. But
right.
You don't have an allergy to, if you're experience isn't an allergy, then, you know, go through with it.
Yeah, just try it. You're closing yourself off from so many wonderful, amazing things.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. I totally agree. Well, let me see your piece. Thank you so much for this. That was awesome. This was awesome.
Yeah. Heck, your piece is awesome. You got the whole sunset and the colors
Mhm.
mixing in there. I hope it shows up well. I just have,
Ooh,
you see, there's the kind of meditating person, and
yeah.
I kind of like that, the ray of light thing that they have going by in the head type stuff.
I like
And
that.
here's the bottoms, front and the back and front for like a little robe situation
Okay.
that I'd like to sew out one day.
Totally. What color will it be?
Um, Probably a mixture of like red and black. I used to play this game RuneScape, and
Hmm.
you know, a lot of the costumes I make are for my character from RuneScape, and so
Oh, cool.
RuneScape, there are like these three different deities.
Hmm.
The one deity I worship, he had a lot of red and black were his symbolic colors. So red and black, or maybe like greens and blues, something like that.
Okay, cool. Well, hold it back up. I gotta name it.
Oh, oh. Can you see
Yes.
everything?
Yes, I can see everything. I'm gonna call the one in the right hand corner the guy. I really like that. I'm gonna call it my center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my
Bye.
center. I really, really like that.
Oh, thank you.
Or even because you've got like the your robe and stuff there, I would say armored to be centered or armored for peace or something. That's so
Mm.
cool. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Well,
Okay.
thank you. I like your piece as well.
Thank you. You got to send me a picture of it. But what would you call this?
I would call that evening glow. You know what I'm saying? The way you got those colors.
Oh,
It looks like
okay.
sunset is going on there. I can imagine myself sitting in a field and saying you kind of got the grasses there at the bottom and the sky
Mm,
thing.
thank you. Okay, I'm gonna write that evening glow, and I gotta write the day on it. But yes, please send me a picture so I can put this up. And thank you so much again, my friend. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to sign off with?
No, I mean, get out there and meditate, folks. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to meditate every day, every hour, but, you know, try to find yourself a balance, find yourself when you have some downtime, you know, take that 15 seconds, take that 2 minutes and just breathe and clear your mind, you know? It ain't bad.
Definitely. You'll feel much better. Well, thank you again, Rose. I love you guys. See you all next week. Peace out.
Thanks for inviting me on.
You're so welcome.
Peace, y'all.